All right, hi, my name is Greg. I'm a chemistry teacher, my wife's a teacher, but we help World War II, Korean War, Vietnam War vets. And last year I found M38A1. I brought it up to Elmira, New York, where we live, and I had to enlist two people because they don't know very much about cars or trucks or Jeeps, Dale and Jim. Dale's behind the video right now. And so we fixed up the M38A1. I have a video on my channel, and now that COVID's getting less, I'm giving rides to veterans. So 3 weeks ago, my friend calls me up and she gets houses ready for estate sales 4 blocks from my house. And she goes, I think there's something in the garage you would like to see. And I said, yeah, okay. I come over there, and this is what's in the garage. This is an M274 Mule, and it's the last edition, which is an A5. And so there are about 11,000 of these made total, all A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, and they left about 5,000 of them in Vietnam. So I looked at it, I was real excited, I got a good price for it, and it was in a garage. The guy that bought it in 1993 after a big snowstorm, but he never used it. So I was really hoping that there was no gas in the gas tank. Well, I was wrong. When we looked in the gas tank, I'm sure it was full in 1993 and half of it evaporated. And here's what it looked like when we poured it out. And it's like varnish, but not the varnish you put on wood. It's what's left after gasoline evaporates. So that's what's left. And we had to take off the gas tank, and we are going to put sand in it, pebbles and all that stuff to clean that, but that's later on. In this particular model, the A5, when I read it online, it said it had an automatic start, but this one has a pull start. So Mule Guru Terry in Montana, and he said the first half of the run on these were pull, and the second half was automatic start. So I tried to start this thing. We took the gas tank out. We put a pony gas tank in here, and we tried to start it, but I gotta tell you, I can't even pull it. So after trying to pull it and I can't, I decided to call Terry up again and order an entire kit for the automatic start. So you will see the progress of this in the video, but the first thing is we have to clean out the gas tank. So when I found this in the garage, all the tires, all 4 tires were flat. So I put air in all of them, and they're holding it except this one right here. And what I didn't know is they had tubes in them. And here's what the tube looks like. I got it from Coker Tire. And remember I told you that about 5,000 of them were left in Vietnam? Well, the weird thing is these tubes are made in Vietnam. The new tire that I have on there was made in Taiwan. So, and I got a couple more inner tubes just in case the inner tubes leak by the valve. That's what happened to this one. So now the tires are all good to go, and we are going to start, like I said before, working on the gas tank. Well, we have a few things missing that I just found out about. The first thing is the pre-air filter right here. It looks like somebody cut it off, so I'm going to have to get some type of mesh there. Don't know why it was cut off, but that's the way it is. And then over here, In the engine, there's no hose from the air filter to the carburetor, so that's why I have this. I'll have to cut that down. But the thing that worries me the most is this, because this is the air filter and there should be a big pan underneath it. So I have this part, which is the air filter that gets up and in there, but then I don't have the bottom to hold it. So I'm going to have to find a piece that will fit that. So Jim's going to tell you how we got to that point right there. This is a finished product, and if you look in there, you can see that the entire inside is silver coated. It's beautiful, but to get there was a big pain in the butt, and here's Jim to show you how we did this.
So we removed the tank, and inside it looked like almost like a tar, didn't it, Greg?
Yeah, it was varnished tarish something.
And so what we did was we grabbed 2 gallons of lacquer thinner, we poured that in there and we let it sit overnight, and it actually did a pretty amazing job just then. And Greg went and he bought some pea gravel, and we threw in probably about a gallon of that on both sides, because there's a baffle in between here.
Right.
We threw some in here and in here, and then we just took it and we shook it, and then we turned it on its side and do it again, and we had put the cap back on the top while the lacquer thinner was still in there.
Right.
And then we poured it out, I believe.
Yep.
And then we still had the stones in there, and we shook it some more, and we poured the stones out, and then we vacuumed it out with a shop vac, and it came out.
Oh, look at that.
Really nasty.
Yeah, and it smelled terrible. And then we took it to a car wash and blew it out at the car wash. Then we did this 3-step process, and it worked pretty well. It's silver coated on the inside, and yeah, that's one thing done.
There was no rust in there, nothing. It did an amazing job.
Yep. So back to the Mule. Like I said, the gas tank is done. Here are the fuel line and the air line for the fuel right here. What this is this going to sit in the gas tank? I got a new fuel filter for that. This and this, we're going to try to convert this from pull to regular start up electric. Got this done. Here is the piece that I'm going to cut down. It's going to go from the air cleaner to the carburetor. Problem here, we don't have the bottom of this air filter, so what I did, which didn't work yet, but it will, here's the air filter right here. I got an old pan and I can put it up in there, but the problem is it's not deep enough, so some of the air filter shows. So I'm gonna have to get a 8-inch diameter pan that's about 4 or 5.5 inches in depth and try that. But the biggest pain in the butt so far has been getting this off. Someone cut off this part of the pre-air filter, so I had to get a new pre-air filter, but I heated these up obviously with the propane, and I got 3 bolts to come out, but then this 4th bolt, I ground it, it didn't work, and it was screwing up some of the frame, so I've stopped grinding it. I'm going to try to drill it out now, and we'll see what happens. But so far, this is how far we've gotten on this Mule. Well, finally, after using a hacksaw, nothing else would work. Here's what the bolt looked like. I had to hack that off. And finally, we got the pre-air filter on there. Obviously, I'll paint that a different color. But wow, that was hard. So the next step is making it with a battery and an ignition switch, an electric start switch, and we'll see. Wow. So there's the starter and solenoid. That's what's giving us a problem. Like I said, because the Bendix isn't coming out far enough to engage the teeth of the flywheel. So, you want to hear the sound? Here's the sound when the Bendix doesn't engage the flywheel. And what I'm doing here is I've got this citrus paint and varnish remover right there while I am waiting for another starter to come from Wisconsin. I put this on last night, and it seems to be doing a pretty good job of taking like the 5 coats of paint off. So this is, at least I can do this while we're waiting. There's the old starter and solenoid. We don't know if the solenoid was powerful enough to bring this out to hook on to the teeth in the flywheel. So it only worked once and then it stopped. Here's the new one. This is from Wisconsin. Hopefully the solenoid is powerful enough to shoot that thing out, catch the flywheel, and start this baby up. We'll find out in just a couple minutes. Well, Jim just put the new starter solenoid in. It's right there, and the moment of truth is right upon us. So here we go. Oh, hear that? Yeah, baby. So this one works. Yeah, here. There it is. The paint job is all done. I like the two-tone thing. I'm still having a problem trying to drop the gas tank because something's leaking underneath there. Probably one of the gas fuel lines that goes to the gas tank. Hopefully that's just it. I just put the air to the carburetor in. I have the 2 spark plugs and wires I still have to put in. So it's coming along, but wow, I definitely need some help on dropping that gas tank. Well, the story continues. We brought the mule down to my garage and we smelled gasoline in the oil. So I drained some of the oil, and of course it was very thin because there was gasoline in it. So a seal in the fuel pump broke open. So we just replaced. Jim helped me. Jim put this in there. We had to take the alternator off. We took just about everything off to get that fuel pump in there, and it actually works. So this is a wonderful thing. I don't know what else could go wrong with this mule. And Jim also, the dude's a wizard. He also made this tow bracket for me. This is what he made. And we're going to tow it with my other vehicle, which is right here. This is an M38A1 Korean War Jeep. And I'll talk about that a little bit later on. Now let's see if the thing actually starts. So we're good to go. We got to put some tail lights on it, and I think we will be ready. Perfect. All right, well, after a lot of banging, I got both front tires off. Now, I'm going to see if I can take this back one off because the lug nuts are pretty well stripped. So this should be interesting. So something actually worked. I got the tires back from Young's Tire, and I put the front 2 tires on. Then John from Wisconsin told me how to try to get these rounded lug nuts off. They were a big pain in the butt, so he said use a 14mm socket and hammer them in, and that's what I did, and it actually friggin' worked. So now I'm going to take this wheel off, take it up to Young's, and replace it with that wheel right over there. All right, things are starting to come together here. Great. Okay, so my next phase is done, which is John sent me new aluminum washers and lug nuts for all the 4 wheels. I put them on. We got the 2-inch trailer hitch that's going to go on that. And it also can go on my Explorer to haul this guy around. These are the lights we're going to just put on here, not permanently, but put on there so when we tow it, they at least has left and right blinkers. And this is what John sent me to, the bottom of the air filter. Now, hopefully the only thing left is welding a pipe from the muffler. So the exhaust pipe from the muffler should be right there. And then hopefully this thing will be ready, hopefully for Veterans Day. Okay, so Jim and I put some trailer lights on here since we're going to tow this bad boy with my M38A1 Jeep. We decided we're going to put some lights on there, brake lights, turn signal lights and everything, and we'll get that painted later on. But the unique thing that Jim did was Jim brought out the terminal to here, and he snuck the terminal into the tow bar that he made. So that's perfect. This will fit absolutely perfect. So when we tow this guy, we'll absolutely have some lights on there. And hey, here's Jim's contraption. He made the tow bar, and right now we're going to tow it to his shop, and hopefully we are going to put an exhaust pipe on the muffler, and then I'll bring it back here, we'll repaint it, and hopefully it will be ready for Veterans Day. So here we go. So Jim's welding the exhaust pipe to the muffler. So now we're putting a safety chain on the tow bar just in case. Okay, so we're ready to roll. Unfortunately, we had to work on it, so we missed Veterans Day. But this is a M38A1 Korean War Jeep. And there's my witch driving the Jeep. It was from a picture from Army Motors magazine, 1941 in October. It's M1 Grand stock. We got the fire extinguisher in there. We put that in. First aid kit. We have a Korean War telephone. Unfortunately, they don't make the batteries for it anymore. And this Jeep is dedicated to Thomas Begay, a World War II Navajo code talker. He is still alive. And there are only 3 code talkers out of 420 left, and he's one of them. He participated in the Battle of Iwo Jima, but he said the worst battle he was ever in was this one right here, the Chosan Reservoir during the Korean War. So this Jeep is dedicated to him. And now this is an M274 1967 made Mule. And this used to be airdropped to the troops in Vietnam. And without the help of Jim Wasicki and Dale Bryant, this would never have occurred. I just don't know enough about everything to help out, so I just unscrewed and screwed things. This is not a serial number. This is one of my most favorite guys' birth date. So that is June 1, 1947. He was born. His name was Chucksy Spots. He coached with me. We were friends. We traveled together. He had the Purple Heart during the Tet Offensive in Vietnam. And unfortunately, he did succumb to complications due to Agent Orange. So this is it. And these are very unique boxes. They held grain in 1945. They held grain for the troops. Walk around. Jim put lights on it so we could trailer it. 81 millimeter mortars. We had to fix this thing up. It was sitting in somebody's garage since 1993. So here it is. I'll walk around, and there once again is the Jeep nose art. Pretty cool. All right, there we go. Finally, it is done after months and months and months and months of preparation.